Hello to you all, this is Captain Dan and I'm going to give you some beginner tips and trips, really beginner friendly here. Number one is follow the main quest. The main quest is going to help you meet important characters that you're going to interact with throughout the game, but it's also going to take you to main locations that you're going to want to return to later on when you're doing your side missions. So that's going to be very helpful when it comes to fast traveling. My advice is keep following the main quest until it splits. No spoilers here until it splits. After that, you can do whatever you want. Another reason to follow the main quest is this. When you follow the main quest, you can see things are unlocked to you, like the basement, and you can see there was a legendary weapon just waiting for me. Another tip is use your scanner. Scan a lot. At the beginning of the game, I missed items because I was not scanning. And those items can be very, very important. They can be very valuable, so you don't want to miss out. And when I'm really talking about valuable items, I'm talking about these permanent upgrades. You can find those in the world throughout missions, and they're so easily missed because they're just notes, they're documents. So another tip is review your documents. If you've just raided or you just looted someone and there's notes on their corpse or notes on the computer, read it. Even if you don't want to read it, maybe just click on it. At least your character would be aware of it, and you will know if it leads to another quest. When it comes to skills, I found that some skills were very important at the beginning, others a little bit less. One that I found was really important was weightlifting because of your carrying capacity and because of the fact that the challenge to unlock it is something you'll be doing all the time, which is walking and running. Piloting can come very much in handy, but that's something you can get a little bit later on once you know that you're going to do some more space battles, wink wink, once they send you there. Security, I find, is very valuable because you're going to have doors are going to be unlocked. You're going to have computers going to be locked. You're going to be able to unlock all of that, lockers, all of that. There's so many of them. And the challenges is, of course, unlocking more and more. So the more you unlock, the more you're going to be able to level up when it comes to that. Persuasion, commerce, yes, they're important. I say commerce more for someone that wants to make money fast because you'll be able to do that from the get-go. So definitely do that. If you're not used to Bethesda games or even Obsidian games, you might not know that if you sleep for 8 hours or wait for 8 hours, you will be well rested. So just sitting down or sleeping in a bed, doesn't have to be yours, will have you the well rested bonus. So as you can see here, my character is well rested and I have a 10% XP gain for everything that I'm doing. So when you get to a new planet, just get into the habit of just sleeping it off, get more XP. A small thing, but a lot of people forget that you can change your perspective in these games. So you can play first person, third person, or even like a little bit further away. You can play with that however you want, whatever is your playstyle and fits your playstyle. Another thing with the scanner, see how it leads you to your objective. I didn't realize that at the beginning, but yeah, it will give you the most direct path, I guess, to your objective. Never forget about your boy Vasco. A lot of people forget about Vasco. Vasco will always be next to your ship wherever you land, regardless of who your companion is. So you can actually use him for extra storage. So let's say if you land down, you think you're going to be doing a lot of looting, give him all your stuff, right? As soon as you get out, give him your stuff, go and pick up more stuff. Or if you have a lot of stuff that you just unloaded from your ship, you can do that too. And then he'll follow you and then you can get to the next trade authority and start selling your stuff. So of course you can store things with your companions, but that goes for Vasco, but also anybody else that's following you at the moment. When you arrive at a port, most spaceport will greet you with ship services. Now, ship services will not only have the guy that you need to talk to upgrade your ship or buy a new ship, but also the merchant authority kind of like automatic machine. You can sell a lot of stuff there. Just remember that you cannot sell your stolen goods there. To be able to do that, you actually physically have to go into a trade authority store or however you want to call it. Then you'll be able to see your stolen goods and then you'll sell them. When you go to the little automatic machine, they won't even show you your stolen goods. So you can't even attempt that. Now, if you're like me, you had a lot of stuff on you that you had to sell to the trade authority, but most likely your companion has a lot too. So just remember, after you sell your stuff, right? If you gave stuff to your companion, you want to check in with them, make sure they still have the gear so you can sell it, make yourself some money so that you can fill their pockets back again. You don't want your companion to always be full. And if the store runs out of money, just wait 48 hours and come back, they'll be filled up. Another thing that a lot of people don't know about companion is that they can equip guns. They'll equip the guns that you give them. And when you give them ammo, they won't really use ammo. So what you'll do is you can put like one ammo in their storage and they'll keep using that one ammo. It will never go down, will never go up. It's always there and then you can pick it up whenever you want. A thing that happens is that you may be running out of bullet in this game if you're not used to the way that Bethesda actually handles there. All the guns have different size of ammunition. What you want to do is look in your inventory to see which ammunition are you stocking the most on, you're getting the most of. If you run out of bullets, you're in a pinch, just use the D-pad and cycle through the weapons that you have while the game is paused. You'll know how many bullets that you have. Now, a beautiful thing is inventory management. You'll see on your ship next to your cockpit, you'll have your cargo. You'll have access to your cargo space. I would strongly advise to put everything that is resources in your cargo space, or anything that's aid in your cargo space. The reason why is because you'll have access to those if you go to a workbench, right? So that cargo hole here, you still have access to it when you are in a workbench. You can put all these resources that you find early on that you're not going to need, but you can find some rare one or some exotic ones that are going to be really hard to find later on. You're going to come across them all the time at the beginning. So you want to stock up on them. You want to grab them. If needed, give them to your companion and keep doing your thing. This is really where you want to put the most, like the heavy stuff, the stuff that's very valuable. You have uncommon, like here I have an exotic one that I would have left behind because of, the mass and the value. It's not huge. Okay, it's a huge mass, low value, but it's exotic. So you need to be able to bring that with you. You have to know that it's all about looting. The great thing about the lodge is that you'll have infinite storage there. So I would recommend that you put, your great gear, the things that you don't want to give up, the ones that you want to keep, but they're a little bit more heavy, maybe something that you don't want to have with you all the time. You don't need to switch back and forth. Put it there, stash it. It'll be there when you need it. Now, fast travel is another thing that's very useful in this one. You can literally fast travel to any place that you've been before. All you have to do is select it, and it'll save you a lot of time when it comes to doing quests. Also, when you're looting, being able to fast travel back to your ship. So if you use that option, you'll go back to your ship. You can go into the inside of your ship, or you can leave your ship. At a spaceport, you can go directly to the automatic machine from the Trade Authority, right? Offload some cargo, or you can even just put some cargo into your ship if ever, let's say you were roaming around, as long as you're not carrying too much stuff. And we talked a little bit about ship services. I'm gonna go back into it earlier in the game. I'm gonna tell you, you don't need to buy a ship. You'll just need to maybe modify your ship. I would not upgrade because the upgrades are so small and they cost money, and I don't think they're really worth it. They're very marginal upgrades, which I would use more I guess when you would be a little bit further on in the game. But for now, what I would do is actually go into it instead of just upgrading like you see right now. I would go into the ship builder and swap out any component that is not functioning for you right now. So just swap it out and add a new one, and you'll be able to see the difference between the two. You'll be able to see the aesthetic. And by doing that also, it'll get you acquainted with that system. It's actually very hard to do a ship in a ship builder. There's a lot of requirements and prerequisite and whatnot. So you want to be able to learn that a little bit as you go, but that's not something you're going to be able to learn that you need to learn right away. But there's a couple of missions maybe that will get you there quicker. And then at that point, you might want to know how it works. But for now, don't spend your hard-earned credits. Now, we talked a little bit about fast traveling and back to your ship. Now, of course, you can fast travel to pretty much everywhere like that. For some, it may cut away the whole flying in space thing. For me, I always thought that if I have to travel through space, please let me just jump. I want to do that. And that's what we're doing here. You can fast travel through all the places that you've been through recently or previously, I should say. The good thing about, like I said, the main quest, it'll take you to a couple of places, or these main characters will take you to a couple of places that are going to be very important later on when it comes to doing a bunch of side quests. And that's pretty much what I have to say about fast travel. It's very useful. One quick note, you can do it directly from the menu. If you want to go down to your objective that you're currently following, you can do that. It'll take you right there in an instant. Now, ship combat, or just being in your ship, being in space, it's a little bit different in this game. It reminds me of some games that I've played before, a little bit of Rebel Galaxy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. The one thing that's important is that you cannot interact with anything if you don't click on it. And this sounds a little bit ridiculous what I'm telling you, but you need to click on it. You will not be able to interact, meaning that you cannot hail another ship, you cannot dock on another ship, you cannot grab loot from a ship you just destroyed, you cannot land on the planet, you can't do none of those things if you don't interact with the thing. So whenever it's in your reticule, you want to click on it, it'll give you more info, and then you want to choose what you want to do at that point. But docking is not about you coming slow and approaching the thing really slowly. Do not do that. It's not going to work. You're going to waste your time. Just click on it. A menu will open. It'll ask you, do you want to hail, or do you want to dock, or do you want to do that? And then you'll be able to use that menu to be able to do whatever you choose to do at that point. You can see a little bit earlier, right now I'm using the thrusters. That is something that can help you when you're trying to maneuver, especially maneuvering around an object or something like that. It just lets you basically do some small like adjustments when it comes to the way that you're maneuvering in space. It's just a good thing to know that you can always do that. You'll see when we turn here next to the speed, you see that white little thing. That's the sweet spot. They do explain it to you, but you really have to kind of like train yourself to know that when you're in that sweet spot while turning, you really turn faster. And if you try to go faster, your ship will turn slower. Like it'll basically just do a longer arc. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to ship combat, I know a lot of people had some issues with the ship combat. Some people can't even wrap their head around it. Like, because they really just explain it to you once and then they kind of like, boop, it's gone. The one thing you have to remember is that when it comes to your grav drive, you don't need it in a fight, except if you're about to run away. So keep all that energy that you need to put in your system. And if I were you, I would put them in the weapon system, laser, missiles, and your ballistic weapons. A little bit later can be particle weapons. Your engine, you want to sacrifice a little bit of your engine. You want your shield to be full, your engine to be as full as possible, but you want lasers to be filled and missiles to be filled all the time. Now, when the battle starts, you want to have your lasers up as maximum as possible, because the lasers are going to take down the shields of the other ship. Once the shields are down, then you want to switch to ballistic or particle weapons so that you can be able to destroy the hull of the ship, and then you'll be able to just defeat your enemies a little bit quicker if you know that. So shield first, and then you go for the kill. You have to be locked on when it comes to using your missiles. Your missiles are pretty effective when it comes to both parts of the fight, whether it is the first part of the fight when you're trying to destroy your shield, or the second part of the fight when you're just literally trying to take them down. I hope that this is going to be very useful for you. I know it was for me. It would have saved me some time. It's not the end of the world, but it saves you some time. Thank you very much for listening to this. I hope you have some fun when the game releases. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll have another video for you tomorrow. So thank you very much. Stay tuned. Click on like if you like this so I know where to divert my effort. Explore and let the space be yours, Captain.